First of all, can I just say that I now realize I have needlessly been self-deprecating on geopolitical matters, saying I'm a layman. If the developments of the last week are anything to go by, I think I'm as much of an expert as the next person. On Friday debate, I called out Trump's bluff of 2 weeks' notice for his attack on Iran, and I also said that if he attacks Iran, it would be just what Putin wants. Both predictions have come true given Medvedev's yesterday's tweets. The other advantage of allaying your fears on being an expert is that you can profess conspiracy theories with gay abandon. So here is mine. Rahul, if I was an evil dictator aiming to protect my nuclear facility from America, I would dig 300 feet underground in a remote location A, then tunnel 300 kilometers horizontally to reach a spot 300 feet beneath a populated city at location B, where I would build the nuclear facility. Then I would allow America to bomb location A and let the world believe my nuclear facility has been destroyed. But then I'm not an evil dictator. Anyhow, coming back to the nub of the issue, 4 brief points. Number 1, let's be very honest. Iran is anti-India, especially on Kashmir. But Congress thinks a nation's foreign policy can be run through the lens of domestic appeasement of its vote banks. This is not only juvenile, Rahul, it is dangerous. But that is what the Congress has been doing historically. Do you remember in 1971 when most of our Arab friends, if not all, ditched us during the Indo-Pak war? It was Israel's Golda Meir who gave us the crucial ammunition and hoped that Indira Gandhi would support Israel. But we ditched Israel 2 years later in its war. Secondly, this is coming not from me but from the Israeli ambassador. Why has Sonia Gandhi, who has asked Modi to condemn Iran, till today not condemned October 7th atrocities by Hamas on Israel? She's been silent on that for more than 2 years. Number 2, for all those Indian Muslims, especially in Kashmir, pouring onto the streets claiming Muslim genocide and abusing Israel and the USA and some stomping on Israeli and American flags with their feet, I want to ask, why don't they stomp on Chinese flags? Knowing that China has interned 1.5 million Muslims in concentration camps and is feeding them pork and forcibly sterilizing them, and that China has demolished 700 mosques in the last 5 years? Cat gets their tongue and molten turns their spine when it comes to their master China. Be that as it may, we have to balance our response to this war with what is in our best interest, like we have in the Russia-Ukraine war, continuing to buy Russian oil despite American pressures. We have since diversified our oil resources. Although Hormuz, through which India imports 2 million barrels of oil daily, remains a concern, but Mr. Hardeep Puri has made encouraging statements. Number B, we had persuaded America in the first Trump regime to keep Shabar port off the sanction list with deft diplomacy. Maybe that will go on as well. Number 3, America attacking Iran is just what Russia wanted. It can now leverage its own Ukraine war with US-Iran war by supplying Iran with weapons to keep Middle East burning. B, the US strikes will spike oil prices, bolstering Russia's economy. And C, a weakened Iran reduces its regional influence, allowing Russia to fill the vacuum, especially after losing Syria's Assad regime. 4, very briefly, let's hope, despite Trump's desire, America does not orchestrate a regime change in Iran, because Rahul, past evidence suggests any regime change fashioned by America has led to America talking to that very regime after a decade. Look at Afghanistan. Same Taliban are back. Look at Syria. The man on whose head America had put a bounty of $10 million is today shaking hands with Trump. Same with Iraq, same with Libya. So let's hope America is not thinking of a regime change in Iran. And let's not talk about American hypocrisy, all right?